What's up, Shinners? Welcome back to the Shindig podcast. My name's Matt Pengelly.
Chris Jackson.
And I've got Mr. Chris Jackson with me today for good reason. We've got a very different guest on the show. We're going to be interviewing...
A seat.
A seat. We're just interviewing a seat. No. Our guest today is my very close friend and someone I grew up with, Mr. Tom ISTED. No, he's not a trials rider. What is he?
No. Professional jump bike rider.
Is that what they call
dirt
jump?
Right? Dirt jump rider.
Freestyle.
He does stunts.
He does stunts, and his bike has a seat, but he has hard gearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how we... yeah, a very close friend of mine. I grew up with Tom. We've known each other since we were kids, really. And yeah, be nice to delve into the world of mountain biking, dirt jumping, and that kind of thing. And I thought I'll get one of my close friends to assist us with that, because I'm definitely not qualified. Chris, you're probably closer.
A little bit qualified.
I've got a mini qualification. Yeah. And it was really good fun.
Yeah.
Talked a little about Crankworks and Tom's kind of journey as a professional rider.
From a baby.
And talked about, what else did we talk about? Some of the bones that he's broken.
Yeah.
And we just chatted shit about bikes, didn't we?
That's it.
Really? As what we do best. And of course, please guys, if you haven't already, there is a chance for you to support us on these podcasts, just to keep them going and to make sure that we're going in the right direction. You can always go and buy something from our website at shindigmedia.com, or you can head over to the Apple Podcast and give us a nice 5-star review. And if you're not already and you're listening to this and you are not following us on Instagram, what are you doing?
Get over there right now.
Follow
us.
Subscribe. All that jazz. We won't keep you any longer and just get straight stuck into the gritty, grimy chat that is with Mr. Tom ISTED.
Let's get it.
And scene.
And scene. It's Mr. Tom ISTED. Yes. Something very special today. Tom, how the f*** are you doing, mate?
Good, mate. A bit bored, but I'm all right.
Yeah, mate.
Slowly getting through it.
So thanks for joining us today.
Well, I had literally nothing else to do, so...
It wasn't because, we're great, very close friends or anything like that, just because you didn't have anything better to do.
Yeah, it's not like I haven't known you since I think I was 6.
Yeah.
So
since we could actually remember shit. So, a bit of context for some of the listeners here. Tom isn't a trials rider, of course.
I have sense.
Sense? Oh, is that what a seat means?
Yeah.
He's got a seat
Yeah.
on his bike, hasn't he?
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
You used to. But anyway, sorry,
yeah.
we'll lose track. Obviously, we've decided to delve a little bit into the dirt jumper world, which I'm definitely not qualified to do. But I am qualified to roast the shit out of you.
Yes, definitely.
So of all of your big, all of your 10 fans that will be listening to this, can hear all about your story. So again, Tom, thanks very much. Where are you in the world today?
I'm currently in Auckland, New Zealand, which is quite a controversial thing because everyone in New Zealand's a bit unsure about people coming into New Zealand at the moment. So they don't really want anyone turning up. But I was invited by the New Zealand government, so they can't really moan at me, so it's fine.
I was going to say you were invited.
Mad,
you already said that. So they welcomed you in at the expense of what, though?
Nothing, because they paid for it.
Oh, they paid for it. And no, there was a catch. There was a catch.
Oh, there was I guess the only catch is I had to spend 2 weeks in a hotel room on my own, which is pretty bad. So by the end of this quarantine, I'll have done a whole month this year of sitting in a hotel room. I've done 10 days coming back from South Africa, for 5 days in Austria, and now 2 weeks in New Zealand.
What? I mean, the thing is that requires a lot of patience.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. No way.
No.
That's why I brought an Xbox with me.
I was going to ask, have you brought anything with you that might have kept you company or, kept your focus?
Yeah, brought an Xbox with me. But then annoyingly, I plugged it in, turned it on, and it wanted to be updated. So I updated the Xbox. It took 4 days to update. I couldn't play anything or do anything on it for 4 days. And all I could do is watch Netflix. So I literally just watched Netflix for 4 days until it decided to work.
Tom's completed Netflix already. 14 days is a long time, like just a few days. And how many days left? How far are you into this?
I've got 4 days left now. So I'm actually in a different day to you. So I'm on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
You're still
It's
on Monday.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
We are Monday
Yeah,
evening.
I'm Tuesday morning. Yeah.
I must say, thanks for getting up early, mate. I'm sure you might be jealous of me and Chris just came back from the pub.
Yep.
It's actually right. It's quite nice having like a little detox, unplanned detox. I had no choice over. So I can order food from like beers and stuff from the hotel, but they're extortionately expensive. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
and the only food I can get in is from Deliveroo, and they won't do it through a third party, so I can't get beer unless I pay disgusting amounts of money for it.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, nah.
Always expensive to drink in the Southern Hemisphere. I've not been to New Zealand, but in Australia, if you've got bad habits, they're expensive.
Yeah.
As I found out quite clearly.
Yeah.
So 3 days left, mate. Well, you don't seem too insane. You look like you're...
Well, my scale of insane is already quite high, so it doesn't really make much just to continue that trajectory.
Yeah.
At least he's got a window.
I've got windows and I can open them.
Yeah.
Some of the boys can't even open their windows, and I get till about here. I get sunshine when it's sunny, so I can like sunbathe, and it's actually right. But everyone else, literally, it doesn't even come into their room.
Oh.
But from what I saw, you did send me a clip, or it might have been on story. I did see a video of your view is just a construction site, though, right?
Yeah, I've got another building, and then they're building a subway outside my window.
He's whistling at all the builders.
Whistling at all the builders, but they've got like a jackhammer on a massive digger going flat out all day, so just go out window all day long. Yeah, it's quite nice.
That sounds pretty brutal. I remember you messaging me going, so Matt, there'll be a time that we can't do a podcast because there are builders.
Yeah.
Yeah, be very loud.
Yeah.
Bit pointless.
Well, obviously, being a bike podcast, because now we can't say trials. He's not even a trials rider. Really.
I had a trials bike once.
This is going to be my next question. Have you ever owned a trials bike? I know that you have, but I just want to get a story for your fans to kind of think. You actually had a trials bike once upon a time.
I had a trials bike once upon a time. I think it must have been like 15.
We were the same, so it was roughly around when I started.
Yeah, because we're actually born in the same year, me and Matt.
Yeah.
But I was in the next year up in school because of how schooling all works.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matt got a trials bike. I was skateboarding, I think, at the time, or BMXing.
Yeah, you were skating and BMXing. You owned both.
And then the local bike shop had a second-hand trials bike. So I'll get one. I'll go riding with Matt. And then I bought it. Got really excited, and I bought an Onza. Oh, I can't remember what that bike was now. I bought that.
Pro.
I had a T Pro, but then I bought that other weird blue frame on eBay. I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I bought
It was bland.
I bought a frame that then none of the parts I had could even go onto it. I was like, fuck this. I can't be able to try and build this.
Story of a trials bike, basically.
Yeah, nothing was compatible. I'm like, for God's sake, going from BMX, we could just put anything on anything and it would work. I was like, oh, this is just a pain in the ass. And then then just kept riding the other one, the T Pro. Was it T Pro?
Yeah, it was a T Pro. You had a T Pro, yeah, but you were trying to do BMX stuff on it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because he could have been Danny Mac.
He could have been Danny Mac.
Yeah, but I can't manual.
He just when it comes to anything,
I cannot manual.
This is what it is for you, Tom. Anything that was technical, just kind of, he was like, is there any speed or balls involved? Then I can't do it.
It doesn't interest me. Can't be bothered.
At that time, I will say it, there was a reason. Some people who are listening will know you actually had a nickname of Sketchy Tom.
Yeah, that was
before he went Insta famous. That was even his Instagram handle, wasn't it?
It's still something. I've got something that still comes up as it. I can't remember what it was.
You still got your old one then?
No, because I just changed that on the top, but. I think one of my one of my old email addresses or something. I still got emails on.
Probably an email address.
Like at hotmail.com or something. Still pops up.
Hotmail. And obviously, it's quite obvious why you were given that name. I don't know who came up with it. I can't remember.
Oh, I think it was the guys from the local skate park down Mount Hawkway.
Yeah.
Just because I would just pedal at everything and see how high I could go, and then just chain ring stuff.
some of the old biker crew, and then we all turned into boy racer crew, didn't we? It just.
Well, I didn't go down the boy racing crew though.
You stayed on a
I didn't, no.
BMX.
I just stayed on a BMX and then just got in your cars, and you decided to be boy racers and went to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Most of
You
the time.
didn't have to pay for the fuel. But you were also, Tom was the first person I saw do a backflip on a bike, ever. Like, ever. Do you remember how old you were when you started? You were really young.
What, when I started doing flips?
Yeah, you were like,
started riding?
It was 15, 16, I felt like you did your first flip.
That was when, it was when I, because the first place I learnt them, I went down to the track, and it was like, my parents wouldn't let me get the train on my own until I was like 15 or something to get down there.
I remember my mum having a
Something like that,
conversation with your mum. They can't go yet.
Yeah, because I was just a nightmare and just would just be a little bit of a tosser. I ended up finally getting down to the track, which is like an hour train ride from where we used to live. And then I think like second or third time there, I learnt flips. And then I went down to our local skate park and dug a sketchy fly out in the bank next to the skate park so I could do flips.
It wasn't even a proper, like, I think to this day now, it's still a gnarly trick. 'Cause it wasn't a proper kicker that you flipped.
I remember when we went past the skate park the other month, and you said that Tom done a flip here, and I was like, where? There's nowhere to do it.
No, but it's like a massive, what's it called, Tom? Chris would understand. It's
just a big dirt bank, basically, around, like, there's like a basketball court.
Yeah.
And it had like dirt banks the way on the side of it. You could pedal down the side of the basketball court. And I kind of dug a bank, like a kicker into it, and then put a breeze block on the top to work as like coping, so like actually get some pop.
And then you just land on flat. It was just a flat grounded top, like a tabletop.
Yeah.
And then crash. It was just a step up. That's how you describe it. Then you literally crash straight into a fence.
Sweet.
So the council got really annoyed at me because I literally was smashing their fence to bits. So just crashing into it with my front wheel repeatedly. But yeah, it worked.
Yeah, and even I don't think I've seen anyone else ever do that particular jump. Backflipping, is it even still there? Can you do that still?
It's still kind of there. I think some of the local young lads tried to rebuild it once, and it was the sketchiest because there's no real dirt there. It's all like rock and gravel, so it didn't really work. It was just a nightmare to try and build, but I got it to work for what I needed it to.
And what did you? Chris said something earlier to me that you can ask Tom this. I think it would be really good. What did you say about him? Because this was when he was on a BMX. He started on a BMX. Can you remember what you asked me? What you said to me?
Oh, is this about him swapping over?
Yeah, because obviously you're on a dirt jump now. You started on a BMX. Ask him, Chris.
Well, no, this isn't just me, all right? Yeah. This is
I thought it was a funny joke.
You was thinking it, and I'm going to say it, right?
Yeah. All right.
So when did you realise you wasn't going to make it on a BMX and you had to swap to mountain bike?
I didn't say I didn't make it. I still got top 8 at World Championships in BMX.
That was a dig.
I'm far better than me.
It was more I just got bored of going to the skate park.
Yeah, I can understand that.
That was the main issue that I had of just like, oh, cool, let's go to the same indoor. The only place I felt there's 2 places down in Cornwall that I enjoyed riding, which was Mountain Hawk and Wooden Waves in Newquay, and I got bored of just going to the same 2 places to ride my bike.
Yeah,
and I was on Mongoose at the time. And they were like, well, we've got dirt jump bikes if you want to try one. And they sent me dirt jump bike.
You were actually sponsored. You were sponsored by Mongoose at the time.
I was sponsored by Mongoose at the time. So yeah, I was getting BMXs from them, and they're like, oh, well, we've got these other bikes if you want to ride them. We've got no one in the UK apart from, I think it was actually Chris Ackley was the only other guy on mountain bikes for them in the UK at the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll send you this. I went and did a couple of the Dirt Wars events, and like the first one I ever entered after barely riding it because I was still fully into BMX at the time. I got 4th place, I think, behind like Matt Jones and Tom Cardy and some of the bigger guys. So I was like, okay, cool, this works. Let's just keep doing this. This seems quite fun. And I was still trying to do both disciplines. And it got to the point where I was going to like some of the bigger events in Europe and stuff where they had both sports on, and it was just trying to juggle both things. It was impossible.
Yeah.
But then I was like going to BMX contests, try and do mountain bike at the same time. And I'll get like top 10 in BMX. Oh no, in mountain bike. So I'll get top 10 at like an FMB gold level event, like some of the top level events.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even qualify for finals in the BMX. And it's like, and like the practice for BMX was a nightmare because I'd have 40,000 people on course at the same time. And it's just absolute chaos, where mountain bike is just one-liner jumps,
You got one run, yeah.
and they're big jumps, which is what I wanted to ride on BMX. And they just never got past being like 6 foot tall, just box jumps
Yeah.
or anything like really big. And you couldn't do any of the big gaps or big transfers in BMX contests because you would have a head-on collision with someone pedaling flat out at jump boxes.
The BMX just wasn't big enough. Like
Yeah.
in terms, not the bike itself.
It's not that it never got. Yeah, it's not that it never really got big enough because you could. Like I was lucky enough a couple of times to be in. Like I was on the invite list to do X Games Big Air for BMX, but no one knew who I was. They're never gonna invite you. It's just kind of a bit clicky. But I just got bored of going to the skate park pretty much. Well, I could go out and get muddy and be a 12-year-old again.
I can relate to that as well.
Yeah, well, he already said that key word, which I was going to wonder if Tom's going to mention it. Clicky. You keep saying
just
that.
It can be. It seems to have got better with time.
Okay.
Now I don't know if it's just because I'm looking in from the outside, but it just seems to be a bit less clicky. It got quite clicky for a while. I just found it a bit hard work.
Yeah.
But
so you went on to Mongoose at this point. We'll do a little timeline, I suppose. So you know you've gone on to a dirt jump. Mongoose have said, "Oh yeah, take that. You're the only other English guy that wants to do that."
Yeah.
What led you to carry on, and like what was actually motivating you to realise, you know what, I'm going to stick on a dirt jump and really go hard at this?
Well, it was a completely new thing. It was the same. Like I could do all the same tricks, but it was just trying to transfer them from a BMX bike to the mountain bike, which was like trying to relearn everything again.
Yeah.
So I get the same amount of accomplishment out of like doing like landing my first like backflip on a mountain bike compared to a BMX, but you get the same buzz. Where on a BMX I was having to try some insane tricks like flip double whip bars or something ridiculous, and I get the same stoke. Where I could do just like a truck on a mountain bike. Like, yeah, that's sick. I'm stoked. It gave me like a fresh start, but just relearning everything that I used to do.
You do a more basic trick, but it's on a jump that's like double, triple the size.
Yeah.
Well, it's that same concept of, I guess it's more. I'm not going to say
it was a fresh start.
Yeah, but I would say it's more inviting, isn't it? Like on a bigger bike, hitting a bigger jump is more inviting. I'm not going to use saying it's easier, but like hitting the big lines, some of us. Let's just use Crankworks for an example. Like hitting all those on the BMX would be scary, right? I'm sure it would still be doable.
Yeah. Yes, but I think all of them, all of the Crankworks, because the two that's like that permanently there is the one in Innsbruck and the one in Rotorua. And I think both those courses have been ridden on BMXs. People have done them, but it just looked horrible. Well, not horrible because they rode it fine, but it just looks like you're going way too fast for the bike, really.
Yeah.
And it's just getting to the point where it's just getting a bit silly, where you want the bit more raked out fork, a bigger wheel, bit of give in the suspension, just to make it a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah. Oh, suspension forks might be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Not that they do anything. Mine are pumped up to the absolute maximum, and they move about that much, even if I land completely flat. But
yeah, but still, that's 10 mil more than what a BMX has.
Yeah, exactly. It's taking some of it and like those little bits. So
yeah, I guess
we already mentioned. I forgot to say you're in New Zealand for Crankworks, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm here for Crankworks Rotorua, so it's the diamond level F&B event, Crankworks World Tour Series. So like the top level event. So basically, like, is the closest thing to it is our X Games.
Yeah.
No, but we have 3 of them a year instead of 1 a year.
Those who aren't following, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I think that was your best result in the last comp, wasn't it? You were in the top 6.
Yeah. So the last one I did was in Silver Star Resort in Canada. That was just under a month ago, I think it was. I think I was in Canada. Yeah, and I got 6th place, which is my best ever result for a diamond. Not a best result for a contest, because the best one I had was I won one of the gold events, which I get more points and more prize money for that than I did for this. But
this is it's like another. It's like the leagues, isn't it? If anyone.
Yeah, but for this one, but the last one was my best result and the one I was most stoked about, because I've been beating people that have like won Crankworks before, so I was really stoked. And I did 2 tricks in my run that I'd never done in a contest, so yeah, I was real happy.
And you didn't. I watched it live, and I could just see you. That's one of the best runs I've seen you do in competitions.
Yeah.
And it was, of course, it's always nice to go, it's my friend, come on, Tom. You know how it is. Which I don't know. You thrive off others, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of get that.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like, I don't know how the best way to describe it, really. It just seems to be a bit more everyone seems to be quite willing to help everyone else in mountain biking.
Yeah,
Where
it
with
sounds
BMX,
less serious. It's
everyone's
not
a bit more. Yeah, no, not even that it's less serious. It's as serious. When it comes to contest time, we're all as serious as everyone else is. But it just seems like everyone's more willing to help. Do you know what I mean? Like you're trying, like
having a bit
I was
more...
trying, yeah. So like I was trying to do like the twisters, and like they only got like there's 5 of us I think have ever done it in the world. So that's for people who don't understand what a twister is. It's a front corked 1080. So it's a 720 front flip is the only way to describe it, I guess. But it's not really a front flip.
No,
it's
I
on a
get what
forward
you're saying.
axis.
Yeah, because it's the way that you're spinning.
Yeah, but there's the person who did it first was Nikolai Rogatkin, and when I was learning them, he was stood right next to me showing me how to do it. Where in BMX you might get, yeah, just do this, but then he's there hyping me up to do it, and telling me every little thing that I need to do in it. So it just makes it everyone wants to see everyone do well. Which I guess you would get that in BMX.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It wasn't for me. It just seems to be a lot less forced. Like everyone just wants you to do well. Where with BMX, it sometimes seems to be like, yeah, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
No, I get it because they're thriving off, and we're like that with trials. I think it's always that helping them.
I think it's just competitiveness. It's just competitiveness.
Yeah,
but
and there's a healthy level of it. It sounds like that crew, doing Crankworks and that kind of stuff. They want to compete with everyone. You want to win, but at the same time, you're like, listen, do this, and you'll do that trick better than me.
Yeah,
that kind of helping each other out and growing, because that's kind of what the sport is, you know.
And for the Crankworks as well, there's 14 riders, and you get 2 alternates. There's 16 of us who do the Crankworx Tour. So there's 16 lads who are all into the same things, all like getting pissed, all like having a laugh. So you end up with just 16 mates traveling the world together. So it's basically we just go on a lads' holiday 3 times a year, basically, yeah. Or then if you go to the other events, there's all the golds as well. So there's like another 6 of those. So you just have lads holidays basically every other weekend, which is quite fun.
That's how we do our riding, don't we?
Yeah,
we just
that's what we do now.
Weekends away.
Yeah.
My next trip.
Where are we going next weekend?
Yeah, that's it. And already my next year's holiday is a bike festival. So completely relate to that, mate. And you know what it's like. It's our lives. You know? Even when I come back to Cornwall and visit you. And what do? Go to the pub and talk about bikes.
Pretty much, yeah.
And just look at everyone else here like, thank God we get to leave this place regularly.
Yeah. But we still go back to the absolute dives and still giggle about it.
I think that's what's part of it, though, isn't it? You know, we're sort of... I'll set big fish in small ponds. We're out like, there's a nice little pond here in Cornwall. We'll just drink some of the water here. And back to the river.
Yeah, and nice cheap beer.
Yeah. But speaking of competitions,
what else goes on like throughout the season? So obviously, like you're in New Zealand now. You say you've been to Canada. Was it Canada and Silver Star?
Yeah. Silver Star's in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh right. I see. I didn't even know that was a place.
Yeah. So the Crankworx Tours at the moment. There's 3 stops. I think there might be a new one being added next year, but that's not confirmed yet. But we have Innsbruck in Austria, which is in June, and then they've just added the Silver Star one, which I don't know if it'll be a diamond next year, but I think they're going to go back to Whistler. So then we'll have Whistler stop, and then the end of the series now is going to be here in Rotorua. So that's 3 stops. But they're talking about trying to add a 4th and potentially a 5th for the Diamond Series. So there'll be a few more stops for us to go to as well.
What's your actual favourite spot?
My favourite contest is one in... well, the one at Silver Star was epic because it wasn't... The jumps were big, but they weren't ridiculous. So it was like riding my own jumps. It was like everything was in reason. Like some of the ones in Whistler get so big, it's like you don't want to try and do like a 720 or like flip double whip or something like that because it's that big. It's like the consequences are so high. But the one at Silver Star was like a little bit bigger than you have at home, but comfortable still.
You're still pushing yourself, but
you're still pushing yourself, but it's all what you would train on at home, so it's kind of like you're a little bit more comfortable on it. It's that one or Big White, which is in Canada as well. Which is
Big White.
It's a big white ski resort.
Big
So
white.
it's,
Sounds like a drug
It's
dealer's name.
so
doesn't it?
American, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. But it's
Give me big
literally
white call.
it's the name of a mountain. It's a big white resort, so it's just at a ski resort.
It's very creative.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's lots of snow there.
Yeah.
Lots of snow.
Yeah.
And lots of bears.
And you've had quite a few. We mentioned earlier, you've had quite a few sponsors over the years. Really, there's probably some people don't know about, have done. You've had sponsors that no longer support you. Could you tell some of our listeners about kind of that journey of all those different names and brands you've had over the years?
Yeah, I've had a few changes of sponsors, definitely, but it's all usually bike related sort of stuff. It's all just kind of like I was on, like as I said, like Mongoose, GT. Like Mongoose is my first ever bike sponsor, like ever, which was
pretty big deal.
insane.
Massive,
Yeah, just
huge.
Like I was over the moon when that phone call came through. I was like, okay, yes, definitely. Where do I
know
sign?
do you know how sketchy I am? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so that was like the original ones, and then I had a few completely off brand. So I was sponsored by like Stanley Tools for a while. That was pretty sweet.
That was
My
pretty
dad
cool,
loved that
though.
one.
I've got some of those tools. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, giving Matt a few of those. But, yeah, it's all kind of usually all bike related sort of stuff. But as soon as you go from BMX, where it's like BMX, you end up with the bikes like Mongoose is a bit different because they just did frames. Then you could get like a part sponsor, but then you have one part sponsor and they did all the parts.
Yeah.
When you come to mountain biking, you go, okay, cool. I've got a frame sponsor. Then I need a part sponsor. Then you get like handlebars, stem, cranks. And then you need a wheel sponsor. Then you need a suspension sponsor. So it's like instead of just having 2 sponsors, you can get 6.
I didn't even think about that. So you could have like sponsor for bars, sponsor for pedals, sponsor for tires.
Yeah.
Wheels,
everything.
suspension, helmets.
The Industry 9 only make hubs.
No, they do like wheels.
Oh,
They
see,
do
this is
do
me
wheels,
just
though,
being that guy who doesn't have a effing clue.
Yeah, but then I've managed to like I get profile hubs, which I couldn't like the best hub in the world. I think personally, like the engagement's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as a BMX, it's like
I'll say, well, if we're talking about engagements here, you know,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Was it 2.40? I think I've got in mind. It just sounds like a bee chasing around most of the time. It's pretty sick.
Angry kitten, always like those. And you were with GT was your most recent, wasn't it? But I think
GT was the recent frame sponsor, but I got dropped from them end of last year. So now just no bike sponsor at the minute. But with the old COVID situation, no one's got bikes. No, well, it's not even that people don't want to sponsor me. It's people don't have bikes to sell.
They've got nothing to give you.
So it's more.
It's no good.
Yeah, they can't. They haven't even got bikes to sell themselves. So they can't just.
I think one of the
there's no point in me marketing a bike. I'll go
on. Sorry, mate. One of the components is like they're not getting parts for like another like 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
So
I know a lot of Shimano's
Shimano and SRAM. Yeah, Shimano and SRAM. Well, Shimano closed one of their factories down in China, I do believe, and opened a new one and spent £800 million on building 2 new factories in Singapore.
That's mad.
Just to try and get back on the same levels they were. Yeah.
Well, obviously,
so that's the issue.
It's like demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like bike companies have frames to sell, but can't get the parts from Shimano and SRAM to actually build them.
Build bikes, yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the problem.
We had it in obviously trials being like the bottom of the food bike chain, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
No, let's rephrase that. The bottom of the demand, because there's very few of us, and two
it's
brands,
quite hard to find weirdos.
Two brands that make our specific style of frame turned around and said, we're not doing anything for 2 years because they've been taken over by mountain bike companies going, how much? Sorry, no, we're renting your factory now. We'll give you more than what you usually make just to make ours. So there's some frames, some trials frames aren't available for 2 years because they're just not going to make them because they don't. It's all money, isn't it?
Yeah. Money talks.
It does, definitely talks. What bike are you actually, speaking of frames, what bike are you still on a GT at the moment?
I'm still on my old GT that I'm on. I think I've had it for that frame. I think I've had it for 2 years now. I've been absolutely abusing it.
That's actually quite long for you.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit twisted and a bit bent. I can't get the rear wheel to sit in straight, but it rolls and I don't care.
I know, and he hasn't seen. I wanted to do this podcast in Tom's epic home workshop in the house. It is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Well, I just managed I was always having bikes and stuff turning up, and I didn't really have enough space in the shed anymore. And then at my parents' house, they had like a dining room that just never got really used. It's kind of just a dumping ground of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was always working in there, and then my dad got annoyed at me making a mess everywhere, so just basically turned the dining room into a workshop. So if you walk into my house, like there's a lounge, a bike room, and then the rest of the house.
Yeah, it's literally that. It's like really nice. I'm shout out to Phil, your dad, and then Sandra, your mum, like for letting you do that. Obviously, they've been a massive.
I don't think they had much of a choice. Really.
I was literally about to say let him do it that, but I feel like Tom was just starting to do it anyway.
It was just happening anyway. Yeah.
It is like a dream room, Chris. You'd be
maybe
happy.
let's say a potential video soon, a house tour at Tom's.
We'll do it behind the scenes. We'll do it behind the scenes. You know, I just had on my notes here that I forgot. I just need to tell everyone before we at the very start. His name is not Tom is Ted. Okay, his name is.
It's spelled Tom is Ted.
It's spelled, but it's not. Okay, sorry. It's not pronounced Tom is Ted. Tom ISTED. Because all that happens that I do is people post on yours, or there'll be a video on a big. I'm trying to think of an example. Oh, Mockoff did it recently. It was a guy tweeting, Tom is Ted. And I was writing to him in capitals, it's Ice Ted. And I had to put emojis like an ice cube and a teddy bear.
Oh, I've had it since I was in school, so I was kind of used to it being.
No, I know. This
wrong.
is now where I'd like to address it and be like, I wonder who. Then we'll know who even the 10 people that listen to us.
Yeah,
who even found out.
I think either way.
Yeah,
that's more reason to give him abuse for it though. So we might have just.
Oh yeah. So I've got two brothers, and both my brothers were in the Navy. But when my older one was in the Navy, when I used to do like the mic check, like make sure the tannoy was working on the ship, they instead of doing like check 1, 2, whatever it was, they would go, "Where is Ted?" And then my brother would have to like go and press a button to like say that it's working.
I didn't know that about that. Oh, that's class.
Yeah.
So it's just a running joke that's gone through their entire family, you know.
Yeah.
And
now that what I find really funny is my older brother's just had a little boy, and he's called him Teddy. So it's Teddy is Ted.
No way.
Wait, I didn't know. So Alex he's a dad now, is he?
Yeah, Alex dad. Yeah,
how rude of me. How well out the loop. I must message him and congratulate. Well, that's cool. You're an uncle, Tom.
I'm an uncle. Yeah.
That cool uncle that rides professionally. Does all that. That's literally like the definition of a cool uncle. Right?
Basically, it's just an overgrown child. Yeah.
Now, I'd like to think there's a reason you're above average on a bike. It won't be too nice because we're basically family. You actually are very fortunate, Tom, to have your own airbag and like training
very
spot.
Fortunate,
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about how you got that? It was just in the pandemic. Give us a little story on that.
So I was one of the main reasons I got a bit annoyed as well with I transitioned from BMX mountain bike as well. I got bored of not being able to build stuff or have stuff that I wanted to ride. So I always wanted to have like my own dirt jump spot or like my own training stuff, and it just never really materialised. And I got onto the mountain bike, started doing quite well. Then there was literally nowhere for me to ride dirt jump bikes without having to drive an hour and a half to go and ride it. Yeah. Like to go and ride something that was actually like a good size, I had to drive up to my friend Freddie Pullman's up in Devon. And I was just really struggling with anywhere to ride. I was like, this is just getting a bit annoying now. And then I was just trying to like think of places that might have space for me to build something. And I went to, there's a adventure park, I guess is the best way to describe it, near my house called Adrenaline Quarry.
Yeah, great.
They got a go-kart centre, zip lines, and like aqua park and stuff. So I just went and asked him because I knew that he had the only place in Europe, the only place in the UK, and one of the only 2 places in Europe to do Red Bull cliff diving training. So they have a 25-meter platform for them to do like the cliff diving into the lake, into the like quarry.
That isn't open to the public. That platform is for Red Bull only.
Yeah, like he's up for doing crazy stuff. So I just went and asked him. I think I caught him on a good day, and he's like, "Yeah, 100%. Like we'll go for literally dropped whatever he was doing right there and then, and we went for a walk around the whole site, just trying to find a location." And he's like, "Yeah, this." I was like, "Yeah, this will work." Look, I was like trying to work out where the sun would be, so it's not in my eyes and all that sort of stuff. And he was like really trying to work out what I was doing. Like he could tell that I was really trying to make it as good as I could be.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, perfect. Yeah, this will work. You can definitely do something. I've got all the insurance under the sun. Like, I'm throwing people off cliffs for a living. Like, he's got,
yeah, that's right.
had the
That's the best place.
yeah, he had the longest zip line in the country for a while. Like, he's got a 40-foot swing that goes over like a 200-foot cliff.
I haven't
like,
taken Chris there yet.
No,
we will
we're
go.
going.
Yeah, we'll go next time you come down. It's sick.
Yeah, it's really good.
So he's like, yeah, 100% can do this. And then I was like, cool. After I'll get a digger rented and we'll get this all cleared and stuff. He's like, yeah, for sure. Actually, he's like, thinking about it. I've got a digger coming in next week. I need him for 2 days, but I have to book him for a week. I don't know why. It just was what he had. So he had like 3 days of this digger and machine just sat on site doing nothing. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this now.
I'll start then.
So, yeah, okay.
Give me the keys.
So had a friend come up and help me with all the, like, because it was literally woodland that was there. Like, it was just it was a big dumping ground really, because it was all a old spill off. So where they mined out the quarry, this was just where they dumped a load of the old material. So they had to clear it all. We had to chop down loads of trees, get rid of loads of trees, move them out the way, and then organize everything. And I was like, oh, be like a 3-ton, 4-ton machine. Nah, it was a 14-ton 360 swing shovel. I was like, okay, that's a bit bigger than I was expecting. And I think we were there for 2 days and literally built all the landings and cleared everything and built everything I needed that was like the main slope line that I had originally in 2 days. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I had to build the ramps and everything, and I had the slope course that was rideable now. And then I had that for like a year, so I was riding that for a year, just like on my own, riding proper.
Yeah, at this point, it was just you just built some dirt mounds, and I think you did.
Yeah, dirt. Yeah. Landings and kickers, and I had like the flat drop and then 2 jumps really.
Yeah. And
then I was lucky enough to win a contest. Did I do it? No, I think I just bit the bullet and ordered an airbag. I was like,
before you said that, this is part of the. You missed something there. I think there was a debate in the head. I remember us being at the pub at the time. I think we were just catching up in Cornwall. He's like, "Do I buy a house or an airbag?" I felt like that was a thing.
I had a deposit for a house. Like, pretty much that. Like, okay, I could get a deposit for a house, buy something, and like start being a grown up, or I could go and buy an airbag.
Yeah.
And feel like what I was doing, I had to have something to train on safely, because it's just when you try and like double flip no handers and all the crazy stuff I end up doing,
you can't do that in
nice
a house.
To have a, you can't do that in a
it's
house.
freaking dangerous, man.
Yeah,
well dangerous.
Yeah, so I was like, I could buy a house, and be a grown up, or I could try and elevate what I'm doing and then buy a house in later life and try and eke out a bit more fun out of my life before I start being a grown up and boring. So
screw growing up.
Yeah, it's a bit boring. So I bit the bullet, bought an airbag. I think it cost me $9,000, $9,000. I think it cost for something
you
like that.
You got a bargain though. I know that.
So I bought like most of the
most
of the big ones. You get like the big airbag and bag jump, the ones you get in Europe. So what I got quoted for was 40,000 euros for the same airbag I've got now.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go on China. eBay. So I went on good old Alibaba and ordered one direct from China, and it cost me $9,000 delivered to my house.
Yeah.
So I have a 8-meter wide, 4.5-meter tall, and then 16 meters long, like a landing airbag. It's basically just a dirt jump landing, but it's made of air.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. And does it need like 4 like blowers to work, doesn't it?
Well, I got sent with, because it's got 3 chambers of air that you can like inflate and control the pressure in. So they sent me 3 fans, but I've got it down so I can just use 2, just because it was just using so much fuel and it was just pointlessly loud with all 3 on it. It was kind of a bit annoying. So I got it down to 2 fans and it just seems to be a bit better. But
it's sort of like really nice. We're yet to see a trials rider try it. I don't think it.
I was just about to drop you in and say we're going to get Matt down there to drop in.
Tom already wants me to try it. It'll be a great video.
On a BMX, it's scary enough.
Bro, you haven't stand up there.
I know.
Chris is actually really good on a BMX or a dirt.
Used
anything.
to.
He can ride fucking any bike.
Yeah.
Right? Another reason
the
I had
issue
to
is
bring.
No, you know who we're getting to do it? Callum Sherwood.
Callum Sherwood might do it, actually.
Callum will do it easy. Callum will do it on his trail bike.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
He might. He wouldn't do it on
you can ride it on trail bikes, you can ride it on downhill bikes. Like, it works for anything. It just, when the bikes get smaller, it gets scary.
Terrifying.
But you've always been building on that too, because even during the pandemic, I was lucky enough to be able to see you at the your training spot, you were building more jumps. Like you've got another section now.
Well, I haven't got another section. I built a new.
Sorry.
Was I still?
You were building a new takeoff. You were. It wasn't even made.
Yeah, I built a new takeoff for the airbag. So I started off with like a 8-meter radius. I had the same ramps for all of my jumps basically. I had the same ones for the slope course that I did for the airbag, and it was just a little bit too aggressive for the airbag. So I built a new one, which is like instead of 8 feet, it's 10 feet, and it's just a lot bigger. So it's a lot less aggressive on the takeoff, but it makes such a difference for
basically
what I was doing. But it's probably one of the biggest like spots now that Pilgrim's jumps have been flattened as well. It's probably one of the bigger spots. Like mine and Matt Jones is probably the only private slope style.
That was a whole other thing to address. Poor old Pilgrim had him knocked down.
Yeah.
Maybe they goodbye to Colchester Bike Park too. That's what I read.
I
don't know. That's someone's ruined
Luckily,
their
I
reputation.
live on the other side of the country, so they can't really do anything.
Yeah. No, I don't know too much, but maybe one day we'll find out the true gossip there. But all I know is that someone ruined their reputation, which seems a bit sad. That's a poor thing. But how often are you riding there, Tom? How often do you actually try and get there?
What, to my jumps?
Yeah.
Oh, my jumps. I go, yeah.
Do you have like a routine when you're at home? I mean, like.
No, I don't do that.
I know you. This is for the listeners, Tom. I know you. You're just like whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty relaxed with everything. But yeah, I do try and go out there like at least like minimum twice a week, if not more. But if it's like coming out to a contest, I'll be there every day for 7 days a week. But during lockdown, I was quite lucky because I had my own private setup. Like no one could go anywhere. Like I'm actually going to work. So
yeah.
I'm going to go
private land. You're allowed to leave for work. You know, don't go home. Stay home. Go home. Go. He's like, well, I'm working. So, and it was work for you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that. It is work.
So it's not really work, is it? It's not work. I'm just riding a bike and playing. I was out there. I was doing like 6-hour sessions on my own, just riding the airbag.
So how?
When everyone's a bit like, don't over pressurize the NHS. I'm like, I'm riding a bag of wind. It's fine.
Plus, you've broken things before and just walked home anyway. Gone, it's all right. It'll repair itself. Out of most of my friends, you are the one that has hurt himself the most.
Cheers, mate. Just.
Yeah, touch wood. No, you're fine. Tom, those days are by. Sketchy Tom is gone. Okay, Sketchy Tom is.
He comes out from time to time.
Yeah.
Put on a trials bike. I'm sure he'll come back out again.
So no load of mountain bike riders. They're like really into all the gym stuff now, aren't they? Like they're literally.
Do you do anything off the bike, Tom?
Yeah. Athletes, aren't they? Like literally.
Yeah, all the time. The one thing I do lots of bicep curls. I'm doing this with beer.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah. Hang on, that's
Oh, Matt's doing a workout right now.
Oh yeah,
and practicing my breathing. That's all. But that's what I mean. I know you really ride the bike for the fun of it, and I've always got that from you, and we've never not ridden bikes, even though we've ridden different disciplines.
I try not to make it too seriously.
Yeah, no, that's what I.
I don't try. I try to have it. I was trying to have fun. I don't want to make it too seriously.
Well, for someone that
I don't want to make it like I have to go to the gym to do stuff.
It is your profession, though. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it is your profession.
I probably should take
you
it
are
more
a professional.
Seriously,
You do take it seriously, but what I mean by that is I think it's really refreshing for yourself to just be in it for like the serious fun. Because what you mentioned to me earlier, you go and ride that airbag on your own. Like I hate riding on.
Oh, that's a workout. If I go ride that workout, I'm a puddle of sweat by the end of a 4-hour session. I'm dead because I worked out that I can from dropping in to getting back up to the top to drop in again. It takes me a minute. So then I've got a drop in, blast of energy, like go as flat out as you can, and then walk back up and then climb the ladder back up, which climbing a ladder with a bike isn't the most fun. So it is a workout just riding the airbag on its own, but I'm not really a gym kind of guy. I might try it at some point, but
you're really like every bit of training that you do on your bike, it is for that thrill.
Yeah.
That's why we ride them, isn't it? We're always wanting to kind of do that. Well, speaking of which, we have like what's called a quick fire round on the Shindig podcast. that generally isn't that quick sometimes because I'm Matt Pengelly and I blabber on like shit. I'm awful.
Well, I've had phone calls with you where I've said 2 words in a 35-minute conversation. So,
do you know what?
That doesn't surprise me at all.
That is so true. I think Tom will just call me and go, I'm bored of the radio. Just ring Matt. Hey Matt, how's it going?
Yeah, it's like calling into a talk show. You just Matt talks.
Yeah. He rings me and I'll start a conversation and then he'll just tone out doing something else and you'll just be like, Matt, hello?
Yeah.
You there?
I don't know why I still have friends, honestly. I have no idea. I think they just feel sorry for me. See, this is supposed to be the quick fire round, not the gibberish bullshit round.
It's starting now.
Now. Tom, where's your favourite place to ride? It could be your spot, but I'm like, where is your favourite? Anywhere in the world, what's one of your favourite spots?
Internet broke up terribly then. I didn't catch any of that.
It's okay. We'll do it again. Where is your favourite place to ride,
Tom?
You can't hear us?
Oh, my favourite place to ride?
There you go.
No, it's starting to break up. Internet's...
Hold on.
We do have a whole planet between us, so it might be a bit...
It's done pretty well.
We've done well so far,
It's done all right so far. My favourite place to ride depends on the bike. So if I was like on my dirt jump bike, I would probably say like La Poma in Portugal, not Portugal, in Barcelona.
Yep.
Then downhill bike, I would definitely be like Darkfest in South Africa, biggest jumps on the planet. But then like just like going out for like fun, just marking out some of the stuff in Cornwall's just epic. But then it's just I just take the e-bike out and don't have to pedal.
Yeah, you're always going out building new trails. I know that you do that.
Yeah, I'm always in the take the dog out and just go dig something. But with like all the YouTube sort of stuff as well, it just helps to I could go make some content really easily by just building a trail and hitting a couple corners.
Yeah,
or just film your day as you like do your day as you would, but with the camera.
Yeah, pretty much.
And make a video, which I think now your channel's doing very, very well. The first few videos that you did were really cringy for me to watch, but now
I've definitely got better at it now.
Dude, yeah, they're really great. If anyone that isn't subscribed to Tom yet, please go and do that. It's literally Tom is Ted. ISTED.
I'll make Matt put a description.
Yeah, no, they'll be down. Yeah. We'll have all the links to your Instagram and YouTube there. Again, though, that it's partly what drove us to start a bit of what we did. I'm like, why can't I ride a bike? And Tom, why can't I do that? Yeah, and you told me, you were like, Matt, this is all I did. If it wasn't for you, I definitely wouldn't have started it. You were like, here you go, like film this, bang it to, just bang it out, bang it out. So just realised
I feel like for you guys,
this is not the quick fire round. We're not thanking Tom for starting the Shindig because he didn't.
So let's just say
I did. I'm taking full credit for that, man. Full me. Nothing to do with you guys.
It's all right. Your hoodie's still hanging up on the thing here.
I'm
still waiting for that.
Yeah. I know.
It's been 6 months since you've been trying to get that to me.
So let's just say you're in Barcelona because it's like one of the best places to ride any bike. I think you're in Barcelona. Yeah. What would be that group of lads or a couple of friends or a particular mate that kind of you ride really well with or you bounce together with? And, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's it's not even that like it's a certain sort of group of people. There's just the guys that I end up riding.
Is there a certain competition that you really enjoy and you thrive enjoying doing the most?
Oh, probably one I really enjoy just because it's not like the Crankworks ones are incredible because it's like the elite, like the top end level. Everyone's being quite serious. No one's out partying and having a laugh. But like the gold level, excuse me, the gold level events are just fun. So like there's 2 events I absolutely love, and there's one in Austria called Glenride, which is basically just an absolute piss up for a week, a long weekend. And then there's like that has nothing to do with it being your middle name though, right? No, not at all. Just no one knows that. We'll address that. By the way,
now.
Thomas Glenn ISTED.
Glenn ISTED.
Yeah. Go on.
So, my favourite story from Glenride was 3 years ago. I think it was the second time I ever went to that event, and I drove to the airport for a 9 a.m. flight, but my flight was actually at 6 a.m. So I completely missed the flight. So I had an alert on my phone pop up saying, your gate is now closed. I was like, brilliant. Balls. So instantly just like, I think I was like Bristol. So I stopped at Bristol Services and booked a ferry booking and just drove to Austria instead of flying. So end up having to drive. So instead of being like a 5-hour like trip, it turned into a 19-hour drive. That was quite fun. Luckily, I had
that
my
Volvo though. That's a beast.
Nice, comfy Volvo.
It is.
Sat in Germany. I did 125 mile an hour in Germany for 4 hours straight because I just set the cruise control to the max and just sat there.
Oh, the cruise control only went to 125.
That is the maximum. I just hit the button as far as it would go, and it maxed out 125.
Really curious to
We
find
need
out.
to try that.
I really want to find out if mine is now. What would happen?
Germany,
anyway, this is the quick fire round, not the car round.
It never ends up as a quick fire round.
Let me carry on with that story.
No.
Yeah, got to Glenride. So that was I got there. I left my house at. So I would have left at like 7. I think I left at 5 o'clock in the morning or something stupid to drive to London. I left at 5. Didn't get to Glenride until like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Parked my car. And then went straight from there to the club and partied. So I went partying then till I think like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then went to sleep. I think I was up. Yeah, I went to sleep, and then
you actually did sleep. Yeah,
I think I did sleep, but I think it was only for like 5 hours. Like 5 hours something. Then I had practice at 10 a.m. and then rode practice until like 3 o'clock. Slept again, and then went to partying again. And literally every night it was partying every night, which I find quite enjoyable because you're not just sat in your hotel room like thinking about your run. Your brain's completely off it. You're doing other things.
Yeah. In that moment, just kind of enjoying it there, and then you can think about your run just before you're meant to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That one, and then there's one in Spain, which is called Vigo, which is the one gold event that I've won, which is the same again, and it's in Spain, so like nothing closes till or even opens until 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to go out and have a few beers, you've got to be up until 6 o'clock in the morning. So I think that the event though that
when we went to the World, exactly the same. We wondered what this massive queue was at 1 in the morning, thinking like, what are all these people doing at 1? Oh, they're waiting for the club to open.
That's mad.
The Europeans seem to do it pretty well.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So even the event though that you're going to be out until like super o'clock in the morning, so they don't even start practice till 4. Like they know you're asleep until midday.
I was going to say, the organisers are definitely well switched on. Then, like, no one's going to turn up for 9 a.m. Practice runs. Like, let's just not bother. So no, epic. And what's your favourite trick, Tom? What's your favourite trick to do?
Favourite trick to do at the moment? It's like I love a front flip no hander or a cash roll.
Oh, the cash rolls do look good at the moment. Your one you did it.
Yeah,
they are pretty epic right now. I'll be honest.
They're fun. I can't really manage to get one done at Radical, to be honest. That's pretty cool.
Oh, adding about going out at night. What did we have? We had our night out in Cornwall. What was this, 2-3 weeks ago? And you came and joined me.
No, it must have been. It was over about a month ago now.
Was it a month ago?
It's quite a while ago.
I lose track of time. I slept yesterday.
Yeah.
So, you came out with me and Chris, actually. This is what I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Till like 2-3 in the morning or whatever. And I was chatting to Callum, who was in at Radical Bikes, going, "Oh, I'm with Tom now." And he's like, "What? He's competing here tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah." Tom's like, "Well, I better go home and get 2 hours sleep." Goes home, sleeps for 2 hours, gets up, drives 5 hours, and then wins the competition. I mean, I've got.
That was a funny night out. That's why I got aggressively hit on by some old women. That was quite funny.
Oh yeah. Oh, was that what the red-headed one? Anyway, we're losing track.
We won't go into that.
We won't go into that right now. Come on. Finally, out of the quickfire, Tom, do you have your worst shindig story? Have you ever got a shindig?
I've got 2 good shindig stories. So one was BMX, bike related. One's non-bike related. But the bike related one was I won. This was before I had the bikes. I won a stolen something BMX track. I don't know what the actual model was, like frame. So I built this frame. I was like, sweet. So I didn't even put brakes on it. And I literally just built it so it was rideable. I was like, cool. I was going to go ride it around and see what it feels like, do some 180s or something. And I did a 180, had no pads on, and did a hop. What did I try and do? I think it was like a hop bar or something. And my front foot surface pedal went up my shin. I think I actually sent you the picture because it was my worst Shindig. I think I sent it to you. But yeah, had V8s on, DMR V8s, and I literally just proper deep Shindig.
Dead
Sweet,
pins.
that's good.
And
Yeah,
ironically,
that's
aren't you sponsored by a protection brand, or were?
Not at that point, I wasn't. No.
No, but you.
No,
But are you still
was
sponsored by them now?
well, I buy for Fox, and they do all the shin pads and stuff. So yeah,
Do you wear
I am
shin
now.
pads still?
I wear like full armor now.
Yeah, of course.
I wear ankle braces,
And
shin
Should we
pads,
just end
knee
this call
pads,
now?
knee
Yeah.
pads, back,
Yeah, go on.
everything.
I mean,
Literally, I wear every kind of pad you can think of.
I
I'm
feel
jumping
like,
from 40 feet.
I
You're
know.
just hopping
I
up.
feel
the
like
two
you
Yeah.
need
walls, so
to.
it's fine.
You have
You're hopping
many.
up. You're hopping up curbs and go.
That was right.
That's it.
That was right.
That is exactly it.
That was the best interpretation. That is literally what we do.
I might save that as a new intro.
The best non-bike related shindig I've got was I was in New Hampshire in America, and I went for a lake day on a friend of mine's like wake boat, and we went out to this island in the middle of the lake. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's a good like rock jumping spot, so we could like climb this rocks." He's like, "Yes, jump out straight over this bush." I was like, "Okay, cool." Everyone jumped out over this bush. It's like, "Cool, I'll go last." Jumped out over the bush, but when everyone went straight, I went like there, and as I landed in the water, my shin went down a rock underneath, and literally just cut my shin from like right at the bottom all the way up to the top of my shin in a lake in America as well, which is just full of like fuel and oil, and like it's not the nicest cleanest thing in the world.
Definitely caught COVID before it was even out.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So yeah, that was the worst one. But then because I came up to the surface and was like, I hit rocks. They're like, no, you didn't. I was like, I definitely hit rocks.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot because I was absolutely soaking wet. So as I got out of the water, it literally looked like my whole leg was red. My foot was red just because it just like streaming from the water as well. So it just instantly just bright red. Which it wasn't actually that bad. It wasn't actually that bad, but it just looked savage. But it did take a long time.
You've had some really unfortunate injuries, I would say, and I don't actually know this answer. I don't even think. Oh, it's like, do you know how many bones you've actually broken, Tom, in your career?
I can list them, or we can count them. So I broke.
I'm dyslexic,
3 bones.
so hang on.
Dyslexic doesn't say you can't count.
That was part of the joke. I know. Go on. Right, let's go.
So I broke 3 metatarsals in my left foot. I've broken 3 metatarsals in my right foot. Spiral fracture in my right ankle. So what's that?
I'm on 7.
7. I've broken my right collarbone. I've broken the L5 vertebrae in my back.
Yeah.
I've broken my scaphoid in my left wrist, and then I re-broke my left wrist in another place again. So in 2 places.
So we're at 12. 12 bones.
Yeah.
That's a new record for the Shindig podcast.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Well done, Tom.
That's
well done,
what I
mate.
know of anyway. I think that's what I know of. I'm sure there's probably more.
One of the first times I'd seen you did a flare on a quarter pipe. This is when we were quite young. Broke his metatarsals. At this point,
No, that wasn't a flare. I was learning 540s, and that was on that sketchy, tiny little quarter pipe at Rapson's in Liskeard, at our hometown.
this tiny little.
The one that you saw.
Yeah.
It was just the tiniest thing in the world, and I literally didn't really even crash. Literally just placed my foot down, but like that on the floor, and it literally just broke. But it broke the metatarsals in the middle of my foot, not the outside.
I've done exactly the same as that. I jumped over a jump box and literally just got caught by the wind and put my foot out, landed, bang, like shattered like 3 or 4.
Boom. Yeah, he didn't even know. He carried on riding. He was like, my foot hurts.
I didn't know. It hurt like hell. I didn't. I just kind of before it properly kicked in, like that hurts. So I just got on my bike and like put my heel on the pedal and then pedaled home. Just because I was like, this was before like how old was I?
We were definitely teenagers.
No, I'll tell you what it was. It was the day before my 17th birthday.
Oh, because we were
And I didn't
just as we started driving. Oh,
yeah. But then I was like, cool, sweet. I've just fully broken my foot. Cool. And I like didn't take my phone with me or something. So this is before you'd have your phone on you everywhere. Like this is when you like would go and put like £5 of credit on every like week, and it would last you a
This is
week.
when you'd actually go and knock for your friends.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Like...
This was back. Yeah, I'm old. It's back in the day.
Don't say that. I'm not the same age as me. What the fuck? Go on. Yeah.
We're old.
We're
man.
old.
Get over it. So yeah, I got home and then like got back to my parents' house, and they're like, "Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry." I'm like, I can't move it without it being painful. And my mum finally like, all right, then we'll take you to hospital. So it took me up to the local hospital. Like, yeah, you need to go to like the big hospital. It's like a little local one. So I had to go up to Plymouth, up to Derriford. And mum was like, not happy not having to go to Derriford because it's like, you're in for like a good 4 or 5 hour wait to be seen. Got there and they're like, okay, yeah, you have broken it and we're gonna have to rush you in for emergency surgery. And mum suddenly went from being like, man up, get on with it. Yeah, you're gonna have to go and get this fixed. So like where the bones are like usually like this, I'd broken them and they sat like past each other so they wouldn't sit. So my foot literally went down. My foot went down like 3 shoe sizes, just like squashed it basically. So yeah, I had to go and get that done.
Yeah, it's pretty great. That's the one that's.
So then when I broke the other foot, I was in Birmingham at an event and I broke it, and they went to a hospital. My friend went to the same hospital the year before, and he broke his tib and fib, and they pinned and plated it, and but messed him up. He didn't walk for 2 years because they messed his leg up that badly. Like they put screws into his leg that were just in his leg, not even into bone or anything. It's just in his leg. Fully messed him up. So I went to the same hospital knowing this. I was like, I am not having surgery here. Like, yeah, like you need surgery to get that fixed. I'm like, no, definitely not. Can I see the X-rays? And the same again. Bones were sat just past each other. I was like, oh, cool. While the nurse just said, "Show me," I grabbed my toes and just pulled my toes and let go of them, like pull the bones past.
That sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, and the nurse went like completely white and was like, "Yeah, that hurt." She's like, "Okay, we'll go get that re-X-rayed." Like she was just panicking, like I like would have broken like a blood vessel or something as I've like stretched it, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna get re-X-rays and just keep an eye on you." And literally, the X-ray came back and my bones are lined up completely perfect. They're like, "Okay, we'll put you in a cast and send you home." Like,
it sounds like
sweet.
I'm also a surgeon.
Yeah. This isn't
I'm
my
getting
first
quite good
rodeo.
at resetting shoulders now. I've reset quite a few dislocated shoulders now. I'm getting quite good at that.
Mate, let's not jinx it. Like you've done pretty well, and I'd like to think all of those things are behind you, Tom. All of those days.
Oh, it's now that I'm just getting good at crashing.
Yeah,
that is such a thing.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I say to parents when they ask me like, what do my kids need to learn? Like, learn to crash. Teach them how to fall.
You still
they
need
know
to learn how to crash.
I know how to crash.
No, you don't.
I do. It's fine. I do it enough. You know, I crash.
Your thing is on a trials bike, the crashes are instant.
Yeah.
Like with me, I've got like a good like second of free fall to try and get myself back to being on my feet. Like you guys, it's like, oh, my front wheel missed that wall. I'm going to smash my face into it.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
there goes your teeth.
There's no in between, is there? Really, it's just one or the other.
No, I think. I mean, that's why I would say it, because otherwise, if you're not, what's the term I'm trying to say here? Look, if you're not falling off, that classic line, you're not falling off. You're obviously not pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
if you're not crashing, you're not trying.
You clearly were pushing yourself, Tom, over the last few years. Is what I'm trying to get at.
It's like last 15.
Yeah, and you've always had this lack of fear. Is what I'm going to.
I have fear. I just enjoy it.
No, there's a lack of it. Like that's what I'm saying.
No, I do get scared. But I love the moment of being like. I love the fact when you're scared going to do something, and then you get the exuberant, like the enjoyment of actually getting past that and doing what you wanted to do.
It's worth it. The risk is worth that reward.
Risk to reward is
100%.
But now the risk level for me to get a reward is so high, it kind of gets a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
then I can't. I find it quite hard to just go for a normal ride. That's the issue for me now. Is I can't just go for a little. I'll just go for a little pedal. It'll be fun. I have to be trying to push myself or doing something stupid. Next quick fire question. Was that pain in the
that was the last one, the Shindig one. We actually did really well. That was quickish, and we're actually on time. I mean, not that Tom has a lot of things to get back to. I'm like, Tom, we won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you're a busy man. Well,
his Xbox might have updated by now.
Has your Xbox
it's enjoying its like power down. It's like cooling down. After being on for 10 days straight.
But mate, I will say thanks for coming on and just chatting with us, and it's nice to try and delve into the mountain bike world. I really hope that we can get some other guests on.
The first of many,
obviously you being a very, very close friend of mine just made it as simple as me just recording our normal conversation, basically.
Yeah.
So
Matt doing loads of talking.
Shit.
That's what I always do. That's come on. Yeah, mate.
It was nice to be able to get a word in for once. It's quite nice.
Yeah, because I had to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Well, no, you would ask me a question normally, and then you would answer it for me and just keep talking. Like,
Yeah, I would do that. Or I'll go, wait, no, isn't it this? You know,
Yeah,
I'm waiting
the
for
one.
someone to literally write to me like, I'll do it, Matt, because I'll let them. I will. Until someone does that, they're like, oh no, I can't do that. And I go, they're just like, can you do a better job than me? Then I'll better do it then, haven't I?
Yeah.
Again, yeah, Tom, thanks for joining us and chatting shit about bikes as always. Good luck with Crankworks, mate, in the next few days.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
We will be.
Still a bit ridiculous. I've done 14 days of quarantine to then do 10 days of freedom to fly home again. But
it does seem pretty insane, but that's your job. You know that this is kind of the closest thing you have to a job.
yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, because you don't want to call it a job, because then it's just kind of like, nah, it's just a lifestyle.
Yeah,
it's a lifestyle.
It is a job, but I've never worked a day in my life.
Yeah, that's what we like to think. The only thing we have worked in the same bike shop, me and Tom, once upon a time.
Oh, there we go.
Once upon a time, yeah.
You know?
I replaced Matt.
Yeah. Oh, he actually replaced me because I was shit.
Too busy talking.
On that note, I better shut the fuck up. So, thank you very much for listening, guys. If you're not following Tom, go on to the description.
Put all of his bits in there.
Yeah, you know, his YouTube, his Instagram, they're probably the strongest contenders there. TikTok's another good one for Tom as well.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch him on his competitions. Now he's representing the UK.
Yeah, that's
most
it.
Of us, so
yeah, the only UK idiot still in the Crankworks series now.
Yeah.
So I mean, this will probably be out after Crankworks came, but who knows? So good luck, mate. We wish you the
Crankworks
best.
Of course.
Crankworks is in 2 weeks' time, so I'm sure you'll be able to manage it.
No, because in 2 weeks, this is like I've got like a catalogue. There's like 4 weeks of pods coming out, mate.
Your backlog.
Yeah, he's looking at me like, when did Matt get organised?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tried to be organised. I tried to get like 3 YouTube videos ready to so I could upload while I was here, and then I just I can't.
That's way too organised for you, Tom. Come on. No.
Yeah.
Week at a time.
I had 2. I got like 2, but then I forgot to film one the week of me going because balls. I have to post one then, so I could post one while I was in quarantine, but not the end of the world.
Well, and hopefully you get a bit of fresh air today. I know that you've only been able to go.
Yeah, I need to ring up and book my walk-in. So I can go out into
stick your head out the window.
I'd like to schedule my time outside of my prison cell.
It's ridiculous. I can go for half an hour walk every other day.
Wow.
You can't go every day.
Yeah, not every day because there's too many people in the hotel. Then some of the other boys as well. I'm in Auckland, and then some of the other boys landed in Auckland. They're like, yeah, there's no hotel rooms available. We'll have to fly you to Christchurch, which is an hour and a half flight away. So 2 of them are now on the South Island of New Zealand doing their quarantine there, and they've got
they have to come
a
back.
big garden and stuff to walk around. So they've got
mate.
they've got 2 acres of greenery to walk around, and I've got a multi-story car park.
Wow. They didn't get you an Airbnb then. That's a shame. All right, mate. Well, listen, thanks again for joining us. We've been the Shindig podcast. I've been Matt Pengali. That's been Tom ISTED. What's your
Chris
name?
Jackson.
Your name's Chris. Thanks again for listening. Let's. I wonder how many people actually heard it all the way through. If you made it this far, you are a true fan, and we love you.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have to do it again at some point soon.
100%.
Yep.
I love the idea of doing behind the scenes at Mr. Tom ISTED's workshop. I think people would really like to see that.
Yeah,
they would.
You just come down and hang out for a day, and then I can terrorise you, making you wear an airbag.
Just do what we do anyway, but this time we'll film it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think we could film us just drinking beers at the pub, because that's usually all we end up doing anyway. We can do.
We'll just set up a GoPro on live stream.
That would be a very good podcast. Just stick a GoPro on the end of the bar and just
do it in the pub. It might be quite.
There's too many weird noises in Cornwall that would be in the background.
Oh yeah, man. Well, thanks again, mate. Enjoy what you can of the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Speak soon, boys.
Sweet.
Take care, bro.
Sweet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.